Hi and welcome everyone. So now we're gonna see how to create a lizard just mixing a little bit of Clayoo and a little bit of RhinoGold, so a really fast model. So first of all, I'm gonna start creating a curve, okay, to create the body of my model. So I'm gonna start with the head, something like that, and maybe the body. Just imagine that this is the body that we're gonna create extrusion on it, okay, something like that. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to create the symmetry of this curve with this plane of symmetry with non-continuity. Okay, something like that. Now I'm going to create a loft on these two curves. So in here it appears the different curve subdivisions or curves between. So I'm going to display it in box mode just to make sure I have the subdivisions I want. So maybe I'm going to increase one more. Okay, something like that. It's what I'm looking for. So right now I'm just going to validate that. Okay, and here I have my geometry just in plane. So I'm going to use the display mode shaded. I'm going to go to cell, select curves, and I'm going to delete the curves that I've used to create the body. Okay, right now what I'm going to do is just extrude that, so create extrusion with a common shell, just to make sure that this is a 3D geometry, okay, not only a surface. Okay, and I'm going to validate. Okay, at this point I'm going to activate the hotkeys, just run all the commands with my hotkeys, so I can just see how my model is in the subdivided mode. Okay, so at this point I'm gonna just create the symmetry of this object. So I'm gonna get rid of 1/2. Oops. Okay, of this half. I'm gonna select by object. Okay, and I'm gonna create the symmetry on this object. Okay, so it appears this panel. I have to choose the axis where I want the symmetry on, so that one. And now I'm gonna keep modeling just with 1/2, okay, and the other one will be automatically calculated. Okay, so something like that for the head. Okay, maybe I'm gonna just move a little bit this central edging here. Okay, and by points I'm gonna move a little bit to the top, those points in here. Okay, okay, something like that. I'm gonna refine that later. That's okay. Okay, and what I'm gonna create now is the arms and the legs of my lizard. Okay, so I'm gonna go to this face and I'm gonna extrude that just holding Alt on my keyboard and something like that. Okay, and I'm gonna extrude that again, something like this, and I'm gonna reduce the size. I'm gonna scale that. I'm gonna move it to the bottom. I'm gonna rotate it a little bit. Okay, and now I'm gonna extrude that again, and one last time. Okay, and here I'm gonna just scale a little bit into this face. Okay, and I'm gonna select these three faces. I'm gonna create an inset in all of them, individual inset, just because I want to create an inset in every one of those. Now I'm gonna move it, but I'm gonna move it all at the same time. So I'm gonna activate the multiple gamble in here. So I'm gonna move all of those like this. Maybe I'm gonna scale it a little bit more. I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna create another extrusion and I'm gonna make it bigger, and the last extrusion. Okay, something like that to create this small hand. Okay, maybe I'm gonna deactivate the multiple gamble. Maybe we rotate that a little bit, something like that. We're gonna have a better result. Okay, so something like this. Maybe it's gonna be a little bit more realistic. Okay, perfect. So now let's go for the legs. So first of all I'm gonna move this face a little bit. I'm gonna change this, something like that. Okay, and from this face I'm gonna create the legs. So I'm gonna do something like that. I'm gonna rotate a little bit, another extrusion right here. Okay, another one in there. and here I'm gonna extrude that a little bit, move it also a little bit, maybe extrude that too much. Okay, something like that, a little bit bigger. Okay, and I'm gonna create one extrusion and second one. Okay, and in here I'm gonna create the all the fingers. Okay, maybe I'm gonna do that a little bit bigger. Okay, and same process that we followed on the arms, so just an insert individual for every face. I'm gonna activate again the multiple gamble, and I'm gonna move those. I'm gonna scale it a little bit more. Okay, and move it outside, something like that. I'm gonna extrude that again. Okay, extrude one more time, make it bigger, and extrude last time. Okay, something like that. And now I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna deactivate the multiple gamble, that all the fingers are following more or less the same direction, so something like that. And same in here. Okay, so there we go. Maybe here we want to apply the tail of this animal, so maybe I'm gonna just rotate the leg a little bit, something like that. Okay, so that's pretty much what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna activate the merge just to make sure that this is all an object and not two different parts. Okay, maybe the legs are too big, but no problem. You can just keep changing a little bit all my geometry, but that's quite okay. Okay, so I'm gonna validate my symmetry because I have it done. So validate, and we have only one object, and I'm gonna work on the tail right now. So I'm gonna go to the top view, display it in shaded mode, and I'm gonna create one curve for the tail. Okay, so it's gonna start from here, and it's gonna do something, maybe something like this. Okay, there we go. And now I'm gonna create an extrusion from this part in here, okay, just to follow all the tail. So I'm gonna make sure that this is the geometry that I want to create this tail. So I'm gonna just refine a little bit those points in here. Okay, something like that. And I'm gonna extrude that, so I'm gonna click X and extrude that using a curve to here. Okay, now I'm gonna increase the subdivision just to flow all along the curve. Okay, something like that. And I'm gonna make sure that the end of the tail is smaller than the start, so I'm gonna taper that a little bit. Okay, something like that. There we go. So now I have to validate, and here we go with our lizard and his tail. Okay, now we have more or less the model finished. So what we're gonna do right now is just apply some gems on it. Okay, so to do that, I'm gonna just turn off Clayoo. So now here we have a regular mesh. Okay, I'm gonna go to the top view, and I'm gonna create a curve just from the head to the tail. So just curving here, and I'm gonna create a curve, maybe something like this from here. Okay, just following the whole body in there, and starting to the tail a little bit. Okay, something like that. Perfect. Now I'm gonna sell the curve. Okay, I'm gonna move to up. I'm gonna delete the one for the tail that we have created before, and now I'm gonna project this curve on my model. Okay, so I'm gonna go to project. Okay, select the surface where I want to project the curve on and validate. Okay, here I have different curves. I don't want this top one, I don't want the bottom one, so I just want this curve on the top, and I'm gonna apply gems by curve to this curve, gems by curve. Okay, the RhinoGold command. So I'm gonna rotate first of all the curves to 170 degrees. Okay, and I'm gonna create a lot of different gems in here. So maybe we want different sizes, so I'm gonna put 5 different sizes, so going from 1 to 1.2, then to 1.5, then going back to 1.2 and 1. Okay, and I'm gonna create different gems, so some of them big. Okay, something like that. Maybe we can create even a few more, but that's okay. Maybe I'm gonna create one more here, one more in there. Okay, that's quite good. So we want the gems just to be on the bottom part of the object, so the curve to be at the top. So let's go to properties and not center, so the curves will be on the top. Okay, something like this. So just to make sure that are inside the object. And now we can apply the cutter on it. Okay, so now we're gonna validate. Okay, now we have our curve, our gems. We can get rid of the curve, so maybe we're gonna hide that. So now we have the geometry and the gems. So I'm gonna just unlock the lizard, RhinoGold jewelry and channel cutter. Okay, I'm gonna make sure just to sell gems. Okay, and I'm gonna apply the gems for this channel cutter. Okay, and I'm gonna preview the cutter that I'm creating. Okay, maybe in wireframe I can just check if this width is enough or not. I think that's quite good. So I'm going to display in shaded mode again, and I'm going to create the boolean. Okay, and I'm gonna, so maybe it's not, maybe I'm going to create a copy for the object, and I made the boolean later. Okay, so I'm going to validate, and in here I have the channel cutter and my object. Okay, so I'm going to go to mesh boolean difference, so from the lizard and the cutter. Okay, and there we go, the gems with the cutter. So now we only have to apply the prongs on the gems. Okay, so I'm gonna go to sell gems. Okay, and prongs studio. Okay, or maybe we can create prongs in line. Maybe it's gonna be even better. So let's go to prongs in line. I'm holding shift to a prong just to make sure that we are applying the changes to all the prongs in here. Okay, I'm gonna apply a small cap on my prongs. I'm gonna reduce the height a little bit, maybe even more, and holding shift I'm gonna apply changes to all the objects, something like that. Okay, maybe I'm gonna reduce, no, that's okay, 0.6, it's okay for the diameter. So now I'm gonna just refine my corner prong, so something like that, and maybe the last ones in here, so something like that. I'm gonna make sure that those ones are just inside the channel. Okay, so as those ones are bigger gems, so maybe I have to refine a little bit manually those ones in here a little bit. Okay, something like that. Okay, so there we go, we have all the prongs applied. So I just have to validate the prongs. Okay, and there we go. So I'm going to display in rendered mode. I'm going to apply maybe I don't know, maybe a yellow gold here on the lizard, and there we go, our lizard with our stones on it. Okay, and the prongs and everything. So this is the final result. I hope you like it and could follow it perfectly. So thanks everyone for assisting, and just visit us at www.tdmsolutions.com for more information about us. Thanks so much. Hope you like other presentations of Rhino plugins and that stuff. Thanks.